You swear you remember it perfectly. Darth Vader saying, "Luke, I am your father." The Monopoly man with a monocle. The Berenstein bears spelled with an E, except none of those are true. He actually says, "No, I am your father." Rich Uncle Pennybags never had a monocle. And it's Berenstein. So why do millions remember the wrong version with total confidence? That unsettling feeling has a name, the Mandela Effect, when large groups of people share the same false memory and feel certain it's real. Here's what's really happening. Your memory isn't a video camera. It's a storytelling machine. When you experience something, your brain doesn't save a perfect frame-by-frame recording. It saves fragments, the gist, the emotion, the most meaningful details. Later, when you remember, your brain reconstructs the scene on the fly, filling gaps with what usually makes sense. Most of the time, this shortcut works. Sometimes it glitches. Take famous lines and logos. Your brain loves patterns and cliches because they're efficient. "Luke, I am your father" fits better as a standalone quote than "No, I am your father," so your memory quietly edits for clarity. Berenstein matches common name endings like Einstein. The real Berenstein feels wrong, so your brain autocorrects. The Monopoly man stands next to another pop culture rich guy, Mr. Peanut, who does have a monocle. Your brain merges features across similar characters. None of this is deliberate lying. It's schema-driven recall, the mind nudging messy reality into neat categories. Another piece of the puzzle is source monitoring. Over time, we forget where a detail came from, the original movie, a meme, a friend's retelling, and we misattribute it to our own experience. If the wrong version is repeated often enough, it starts to feel fluent and familiar. That fluency creates a powerful illusion of truth. I've heard it so many times, it must be right. Add social proof. Thousands of comments saying, "Wait, I remember it this way too." And confidence skyrockets. We're social learners. When the group nods, our brains relax and stop checking. Memory also compresses. We store the gist and lose the exact wording, colors, or shapes. Later, when we retrieve a memory, we backfill with high-probability guesses. That's why small changes creep in. A missing hyphen, a flipped color, a slightly different line. The brain optimizes for meaning, not pixel-perfect accuracy. And because retrieval rewrites memory, every time we retell the story, we etch the edited version deeper, a self-reinforcing loop. Suggestion makes things worse. When a caption asks, "Remember when he said," your brain searches for that version first. If you're already primed by headlines about reality glitches, your expectations bias the reconstruction. The more emotionally charged or surprising the claim, the stickier it becomes. We love mysteries. We share them. Repetition hardens belief. Here's the twist most people miss. The Mandela Effect feels collective, not because a timeline changed, but because our brains are built the same way. We share similar schemas, shortcuts, and cultural inputs. So we make the same high-probability mistakes together. That's why entire comment sections light up with identical false memories. It's not evidence of a broken universe, it's evidence of a shared human operating system. While you're watching, do a quick self-audit. Which examples have you confidently remembered the wrong way? Be honest and drop your number or your favorite example in the comments. You'll be surprised how many others match you detail for detail. And if you like having your certainty challenged by actual brain science, hit subscribe now. NeuroWhirl is all about exposing these mental glitches so you can spot them in the wild. In the rest of this video, we'll dig into how false memories are manufactured step by step, from the misinformation effect to social contagion, and simple habits that make your recall more accurate without killing your curiosity. Keep going. Your brain is about to see how easily it can fool itself. Let's pull the curtain back on how these false memories get built. One of the biggest culprits is the misinformation effect. Change the wording of a question and you can change a memory. In a classic experiment, people watched the same car crash and were later asked how fast the cars were going when they hit versus when they smashed. Those who heard smashed not only guessed higher speeds, they were also more likely to remember broken glass that never existed. A single leading word became a seed that the brain watered into a vivid detail. That's how a meme caption like "Remember when he said X" can quietly overwrite what you actually heard. Next comes social contagion. Memory is collaborative by default. We're built to learn from the tribe. When a friend confidently retells a scene, your brain may blend their version with yours. Online, that effect scales. A wrong quote with 1 million likes doesn't just seem popular, it feels fluent. Fluency, the ease with which something comes to mind, gets misread as truth. Repeat it enough and your brain shifts from "I heard" to "I remember." Under the hood, you're relying on gist more than verbatim. Verbatim memory is the exact wording, the precise logo shape, the pixel-by-pixel detail. Gist memory is the meaning, villain reveals paternity, rich cartoon guy, kid's book family with an ein sound. Gist lasts longer because it's useful. Verbatim fades because it's expensive. When you recall later, the brain reconstructs from gist and fills in the blanks with what usually fits. That's efficient, and it's where the Mandela Effect blooms. Every retrieval is also a rewrite. Memory isn't pulled from a shelf, it's resaved. Neuroscience calls this reconsolidation. The moment you bring a memory up, it becomes malleable for a short window. Anything paired with it, your current mood, a headline, a friend's confident claim, can sneak into the file before it's saved again. Tell the story at a party, then read a viral post about it, then recall it next week, and you've edited the scene 3 times without noticing. Source monitoring errors seal the deal. We're bad at tracking where details came from. Was that line in the movie, or in a parody, or in your head? Did you see the logo on the box or a fan edit on Instagram? When the origin feels fuzzy, the brain labels the most coherent version as mine. Combine that with expectation, your schema for how things usually look or sound, and your memory feels certain even when it's stitched together. So what can you do to protect yourself without turning into a skeptic robot? Use a simple anti-glitch kit. First, flag your certainty. When you feel 100% sure, mentally downgrade it to confident hypothesis. That tiny pause keeps you open to checking. Second, prefer originals over echoes. If you're debating a quote or a logo, go to the primary source, movie clip, product page, brand guide, and take a screenshot. Third, neutralize prompts. Ask yourself what was said instead of "did he say X" to avoid planting suggestions. Fourth, compare alternatives side by side. When you line up the real logo and the fake one, your brain stops relying on gist and starts noticing edges and shapes. Fifth, separate memory from meaning. You can keep the story's emotional truth without insisting on every detail. That protects relationships and accuracy at the same time. Also, make peace with the fact that shared glitches are normal. We're steeped in the same culture, trained on the same patterns, and tuned by the same cognitive shortcuts. Of course, we'll drift toward the same high-probability errors. The Mandela Effect isn't proof we jumped timelines. It's proof we share a remarkably similar predictive brain. Now it's your turn. Think of one thing you were absolutely certain about that turned out to be wrong. A movie line, a lyric, a logo. What was it, and when did you realize the switch? Drop it in the comments so we can map our collective blind spots. And if you want more mind-bending psychology, how selective attention makes you see things everywhere, why facts don't change minds, and the tricks advertisers use on your biases, subscribe to NeuroWhirl and turn on notifications. Your memory will keep rewriting itself. I'll keep showing you where the edits are.